Alright, and welcome to the final video in this series. It's been a good one. We've got loads built, but yeah, it's finally come to an end. We've pretty much filled the map. So in this episode I'm just going to pretty much review what we've built. I've made a few little tweaks since the last episode, just to sort of try and pretty everything up and finalise everything. So I thought we'd start in the original town, Ashfucks, and well, it's not really the same, is it, as it was when we first built it, but it's had a few redesigns since then. But yeah, nice little hardcore food production area that we turned it into, and yeah, moving on. You can sort of see the sort of steps that we went to create bricks and glass first of all, and get all our resources ready for well, pretty much creating this massive build. So yeah, what else? What to show you? Well, at the start of the town, I tried to sort of neaten up this port area. I think if you remember, it was just sort of flat along, and it was a bit boring. But when I was sort of looking at the entrance to the town, it just seemed a bit one-sided with a couple of ships here. So I thought I'd add a couple more over here. I think it's come out pretty well. And yeah, it hasn't eaten into the river too much. There's still quite a lot of room. So these trees are quite close. But yeah, looks nice and neat. And obviously we get a little bit more fish and food and stuff. What do we get from here? Whale meat and lobster and seal meat, and whale blubber, of course, which is important for our lamp oil. So always a bonus. Haven't really done much with the new MedievalTown, the original one that we did. But I think that came out really well. It was like the first time I'd sort of played around with these models in this particular design. So we've done quite a few, really, haven't we, since then, with these particular houses. But yeah, I really quite like this sort of square design we've got, cross, I should say. And who can forget Murray's Mansion? Yeah, what a structure. Yeah, just from the simplicity of the front lawns, just being nice and open, to the intricacies of our outdoor wedding chapel. Yeah, it does look good. It's the little things like the swaying of the oak tree. I really do like this game. And yeah, with Murray's private garden is a place of reflection. I did notice actually the other day, because we didn't actually put any sort of greenery on the ground, and there's not been any trees that have popped up or anything. I think probably because we haven't got any natural trees growing anywhere near. I don't know if that's got anything to do with it, but yeah, normally when you have a little bit of ground that's bare, you tend to get a tree popping up, like in the back gardens of some of our houses. So yeah, quite happy about that. Save us having to manicure all the time. And yeah, the church, the cathedral, I should say. Yeah, what a cracking model that is. I mean, it just literally towers over everything else in the game. And yeah, I think we did it justice with our tidy cemeteries. So yeah, they've come out really nice as well. Nice sort of centerpiece to surround the cathedral with. Murray's private cemetery at the back. Yeah, very pleased with that. And what else? Well, yeah, the labyrinth and the medieval fountain. Yeah, I've upgraded all the houses around to estates, so yeah, they do look good, with their little extensions on the sides and then the roof, especially with the mix of trees we've got. What do we put here? Is it buckeyes? Quinces and purple. Yeah, beech. Yeah, really nice combination of two trees there. What else? Yeah, banging out the spirits over here. Our fig orchards are looking a little bit worse for wear. They could probably do with upgrading. But they'll get round to it themselves. So. And yeah, our inn and gardens are pretty much stocked to the brim with all kinds of things, coffee, tea. Been buying a few little items in just to try and boost up the happiness. It was actually on 4, but I noticed that we've got, well, while I was waiting to do this final video, our labour rate just went mental. It just kept climbing all the times we were struggling and pulling people out of miners and stuff like that, and hanging fire for nomads. Yeah, ever since I sort of stopped and let the game settle, that was like up to 400. So it was having a bit of an impact on our food. So we got a diphtheria and I just let them all die. Pulled out all our physicians and just let a load of people die. But still, they sort of rectified the issue themselves, and I've still got, what is that, nearly 250 people. However, food has stabilised. It's been around the sort of 100, 110 mark for the last 3 years. Logs been sort of floating between 10 and 12,000. So those extra wood cutters we put in, and we put one over here as well, didn't we? Yeah. So they've been doing the job and stabilised the logs, considering we sort of need them for other things as well, don't we? Tools and such. So, and yeah, fuel again very similar. Firewood's been around sort of 30 to 40,000. Yeah, up to 50 now, getting there. Fire bundles, yeah, I've started to sell a few of those. There were 3 at the original trading posts, as is charcoal, which we've got a lot of. So just been using a little bit of that in the trading posts. It's actually been quite good fun, just to sort of stop, take a step back from instead of incessant building all the time, and just to actually sort of watch the game as it's nearly complete. And yeah, just messing around with the trading post, buying bits and bobs, because yeah, there are so many production chains that we've got going. Sometimes it can, once you've built this amount of stuff, it can sort of get on top of you. But yeah, all you really need to do is just take a step back, take a couple of years out of building, and have a little play, and just sort of edge things off and make sure things settle down. We've had a number of fires. I think we've had 2 fires over the past few years in this area. It's pretty much a death trap. You can see actually one house is still yet to be rebuilt. Yeah, so really I should have put another well down here, shouldn't I, really? Well, yeah. In fact, you know what? I removed this piece of road here so I could put a well in, and I must have forgotten. So yeah, probably the last thing we're going to do, he says, we'll just stick a little well in there just to help these guys out, because their stuff's constantly getting burnt down. So yeah, yeah, this port area came out really well. Again, first sort of time I was playing around with these covers, putting them over horses or over the stockpiles. Really good little mod, these coverings. You can do loads of stuff with them. And of course, who can forget our Japanese nomad village? Again, that came out really well. Sort of nice sort of example of what you can do with these different Japanese style homes and temples and shrines. So yeah, very good, very good. What else? Yeah, well, this little village at the back sort of served its purpose, hasn't it? Yeah, we've got loads of tobacco leaf, so we could have even put more curing barns in. Well, I don't really think it was necessary. And again, it's nice to have a surplus, as I've mentioned before. And yeah, but where would we be without the silk huts and the mulberry? That's been our life saviour, really. A lifesaver, I should say. Going through the trading posts when firewood's been running low, silk's always been there to top us up. So very happy about that. And yeah, I quite like just these little areas of forest that we've left, sort of in between. It just sort of frames the different areas, a little bit here and a little bit down here, just sort of separating this port area from our fields, our irrigated fields. And again, they came out really well. Yeah, it's just a simple mod. Sometimes it's the simple ones that just have the best looking effects. But yeah, I think we're going to be definitely using those again in the next build. And Again, these sort of 2-storey houses, just a little sort of demo of what you can do in terms of increasing your population a little bit faster using these. And it's nice you can have different colour schemes. Whether I'm sort of taken with them or not, I'm not too sure. You know, they sort of serve a purpose, but I much prefer the single stories to like the new Medieval Towns mods, and even just doubling them up. I mean, they obviously do have a larger floor span, so it takes up more room on the new Medieval Town mods, but they just look so much better. So yeah, Murray's little private trading post. Let's see, we've got any stuff in here. 1%, 2%, 95%. Yeah, so maybe a little bit of overkill on the storage warehouses, but we do have those mods that sort of make them hold more stuff, so I'm sure that's having an effect. Yeah, we sort of finished off our little school at the back here, give them a bit of a playground at the back. Yeah, unfortunately there's not really much we want to put in there. I don't really want to put flowers and stuff in here, it's not that sort of place. It's just a bit of five-a-side at break time, that's what they want. And yeah, that's good. What else can we review? Again, really not pointing out much I've changed. This little area I did sort of rejig, put a couple of fuel refineries in. We had one in the centre, and this was sort of off-centre. It sort of went up and across, so I just pushed all these across one, just neatened it up a little bit. I was in two minds all the time, so whether I was going to keep this, but when I actually removed this section here, our tools did start to drop, so it's sort of essential really. I don't think it looks too bad. We've got a little lumber mill down on the corner, so it's sort of like a nice entranceway into this sort of city on this side of the map. Not many items sort of over the top of any building saying we're sort of running short on stuff. I've tried to get as much stuff in as possible. This thing pretty much always has a one over its head. We just can't produce enough barley to keep this guy happy. How much flour we've actually got? Let's have a look. 28, yes. We're sort of always running low on flour and barley. Whereas with the sugarcane, we've got sort of one square of it, and it's yeah, it sort of went mental, didn't it? I don't know what was going on there. Let's have a look. Refined sugar, we've got loads of. Sugarcane, well, sugarcane's been dropping. It wasn't like 40,000, but I thought, well, yeah, why not sell it? So I've been banging the sugarcane into the trading post, just like 1,000 at a time. It's only worth one, but you know, if we've got it, why not sell it? Yeah, I do like this model of church as well. We haven't used it as much, but yeah, with the red brick, it goes really well. So yeah, nice model. What else? Moving on. Yeah, this guy's doing okay. We put him in, and he's cutting the trees down, but I think we're still having an effect with that funky mod that we used that sort of spread itself all over the map. It doesn't look as sort of chopped down as sometimes these areas do when you put these foresters down. So yeah, still keeping that sort of forest feel in between these two areas. And yeah, this area came out really well, didn't it? With our shipyards. I've actually done builds in the past where I've had sort of 3 of these going out, sort of all the way up here, just hammering the hull components. But you always end up running out of rope, because if we go over here and have a look at these fields, I mean, we've got 6 people in each of these, and if we review sort of cotton to hemp. Let's have a look. Yeah, hemp. Now, hemp's on 1951. Hemp is normally on 0. I've been buying a bit of hemp in, just 1,000 at a time from the trading posts, because it just kept running out. It was a situation where I think you get to halfway through the year, they'd run out, and they'd have to wait a couple of months until the fields were cropped. So it was enough. It was enough to keep them going, but we weren't really getting many marks above the models saying that they were running out of stuff. But you know, if you look at the cotton, there we go here, cotton. Yeah, 54,000. So really, I mean, these should just be hemp. But I just like the way that different designs, different colours on these sort of 8 fields, just to make it look a little bit less bland, really. So yeah, hemp doesn't grow as well as cotton, so if you're going to do sort of hemp production for ropes, yeah, you need a lot of it to sustain even something as fairly small as this, really. But yeah, and the chicken sheds, well, they were a success, weren't they? So close that down a bit. Yeah, really like those. Again, simple but effective. So, and as I say, you can cover anything with these. You can leave gaps in between. So many possibilities. Don't really get a huge amount of food off these chickens, actually. I was having a look the other day. Yeah, 400, 6, 7. So, well, actually, no feathers because they're not in food, are they? So, what's that? 6 or 7. Considering we've got 4 people in them. Yeah, not great, really. But we'll go into the sort of animals and what's best for what in a little bit of time. Yeah, let's go and have a look at our lookout, our outpost. So this is done and dusted. So I've marked out some like that pebble effect just on the front, just to stop the trees from growing in front of it. So we've got an unimpeded view from this tower. You can see any enemies coming into our territory. I actually planted this little square here. I actually put down a forester just on this corner, and this circle just sort of went like that. So it was quite nicely just filled in these trees for us. I extended this colonial wall just down here. Guys can still come through this way, get to the fishing dock, and yeah, but just a nice little touch instead of just having it bare, so on this corner. So yeah, really pleased about that. And yeah, just this little offshoot of canal that we created just allows us to have a trading post up here. And I've put in this all the different statues, bolstered it with a bit of silk as well, just because I didn't want to spend, I didn't want to trade all the statues away, really. I wanted just you to see. So yeah, marble statues, look at that, 260. That's some serious buying power we've got there. And jade statues, again, just trying to think of good ideas for our next build of how we can generate some serious cash. We've sort of demoed all the different production chains, and yeah, we just sort of want to work out what could be good for us for the next build. And considering we can put down jade quarries and pump out the jade ourselves instead of having to rely on the traders like we do for the marble and the ivory, yeah, great. So a possible sort of production chain further down the line to get some money in quick. But yeah, look at the wood as well, wood statues, 45. I don't know how fast they are at building, but if we just had all, let's have a look over at the wood statues. Oh, we've got nomads. We've got some nomads coming in. Oh my god, we've got loads of nomads. Look at this stream. Oh, we're on ×1 at the moment, so I didn't want to pause it. I just wanted to let it run slowly. Yeah. Oh yeah. While I'm up here, I just put a couple of Moorish trademark statues in front of his mining residence up here. Just tried to neaten it up a little bit with some flower beds. Try and give him a bit of privacy with these hedges here. But yeah, I do like those statues. They're really cool. It's like Thor with his hammer. And yeah, I've got our horses back in here after they died out. But yeah, I digress. Yeah, so if we were, let's have a look. We've got, who's doing the wood? This guy's doing the wood. So we've got one guy in here. So I mean, if we had sort of like 8 of these just pounding out the wood statues, that that goes from firewood being 4 to wood statues being 45. It's possibly a good opportunity to get some money on early on in the game. Yeah, while we're over here, I've sort of neatened up the town hall as well, put a couple of trees behind it, some flower beds, done the same with the gardens in these houses as well. They were all flat and boring, so yeah, we've neatened those up, and yeah, just little bits around. So put some more flower beds here, put a half wooden fence, well, wooden hedge I should say, because we haven't used any of the wooden hedges styles. and the half one looks quite nice. Just sort of add a little bit of decoration around the school, because we've crammed everything in really, so we've been short of space. So there's not been much for me to do, because we've actually been sort of decorating as we've been going along. I did sort of want to put some trees going along sort of this road, this style of tree, but yeah, we couldn't put them here because this is the front of these. So let's just sort these nomads out. 339, obviously not, so you can go away. And where's... oh, right, okay, yeah. Yeah, you're definitely going, aren't you? Yep. There's no more over there. Okay. Yeah, so as I was saying, yeah, I couldn't actually put any on this side, because these are the front of all these buildings, and it's the same for these apiaries, so I sort of abandoned that idea and just sort of tried to neaten up as I could. Yeah, I just did these gardens as well. Just some flowers, trees, and some statues and that, just to try and neaten it all up. Just try and make it look a bit nicer, all complete. A bit of a hippie living in this house here. Likes to do his yoga in the back garden. And yeah, a little buckeye tree. And a sort of corner flower bed. So yeah, nothing really to do in this section. This was all done at the time. Yeah, look at them all streaming out. Yeah, I was really happy with the way that this turned out, because obviously we don't have any specific army barracks style buildings. I think they're coming in New Frontier in 1.5, but I think we managed to get the look down really well with this section. Yeah, happy with that. Now we're continually getting sort of signs over the Butcher's Row we've got down here, and that's just because certain animals we're just not producing enough of, because we don't have that many of them. But they're still, you know, considering it's only one person stocking these butchers, they should be making enough food out of the meat that they're getting. And yeah, as regards to animals, we were going to say we were going to have a quick chat, weren't we? Yeah, I've always favoured the Frisian cows, just because you get sort of meat and milk and leather, so you get three good stuff out of these pastures. But because we've got all these different animals, I was just having a quick look and seeing what we're getting out of them. This is about 1,000 food, some good leather, and looking at the pigs, yes, I haven't done as well. But when I was looking at the pigs an hour or so ago, they were doing really well, and there was a lot more meat coming off them than these cows. So I was, and the other benefit is obviously we've got 12 in this size pasture and 15 of the pigs, and you still get leather off them. So yeah, instead of doing Frisian cows, we might have a bit of a pig farm going on in the next build. But yeah, horses not so good for meat and such like that. And what else that they give? Bison, quite good. You know, you're getting leather off them. Yeah, look at that, 960. So bison, you can't complain. I think they're still 12 as well, aren't they? Yeah, 12. Same as cows, the size you can fit in this particular pasture. But yeah, so I think, and I used to favour sheep as well for the wool, but yeah, considering the amount of cotton that we've been getting out of those fields, I think we're going to stick with full coats from now on for that, and not even bother with animals to try and get leather and stuff. So yeah, we'll probably be doing a lot of cotton production in the next build as well. So it's just nice we've learned all these, you know, new skills for the next build. I mean, I play this game all the time, and you're learning stuff all the time, especially with the new mods and that and what you can do. So yeah, it's always nice to learn new stuff. Didn't really do much with here, put a few single flower beds in, again just to give it a bit of colour, neaten it up. It's all very stony in here, and it was quite nice that we had these hedges and flower beds over here, so just add a little bit more detail. The island, well, that was crammed full. We're going to be seeing a lot more of these types of islands in the next build, definitely. I love the look of these sort of segregated little sort of communities, industrial, residential, commercial, so yeah, we can play on that theme a lot in the next build as well. Down here in this sort of port, again, really not much change, to be honest. Everything was crammed in. We sort of did our flower beds at the time. And what I have done over here is fill in a lot of these resource depots. So if we start from this side, we've got coal 5,000. That gives 100%. So 1,000 to 20%. So you can fit 5,000 of the coal, the iron, go at 5,000, and stone. And if you look, we've got nearly 8,000 stone in stock anyway on the stockpiles. Nearly 9,000 iron. That's because when we were over on this section near the pirates and that, I had noticed there was still loads of iron and stone on the ground, so I just pretty much marked everything that was left. And over the last couple of years, they've just slowly been picking it up and adding to that. So we're really healthy for that sort of stuff. But, you know, worst case scenario, if you got these resource depots set up earlier on, if you did hit any issues, you could just release this stuff out. They hold up to 4 people, so it's normally enough. And over here, yeah, again, just some more essentials I've put in here, some food. What have we done in this one? Oh yeah, coats in this one. So we've got 1,500 coats. We've still got 3,000 plus, you know, in our barns and that scattered around. And I've thrown some cotton and cloth in there as well, just so you know, if there was an emergency and we needed more than this, we could bang some out at the weavers and at the tailors as well. And yeah, what else? Iron tools, 500 iron, 500 steel, 1,300 again knocking around, 1,000 in reserve, so always good. And if we look here, we've got 1,000 tools, that's 20%, so we could have 5,000 tools if we wanted them stored away. I don't think you'd ever need that amount, but worth having. Another thing to note as well, put some food in here. Again, I think this is going to hold about 50,000 food. Fish, 9,999. Now we had loads of fish, but this seems to be the total amount of one single item that you can put in the stock in the resource depot. So you can't just put 50,000 fish in there. So again, that's something to note. So I've just been putting like 10,000 fish, 10,000 pairs, and we've got a lot of mussels from over in the tidal pool. So I'm just trying to get them totted up at the moment as they're still doing that basically. But yeah, you can sort of see we've got a reserve now of things over here that we can release into the map if required. And yeah, well, who can forget the Fountain Mod village? Yeah, this came out really well. Again, first time I've used the sort of sand texture mod. Didn't know how it was going to work out, but it's come out really well. So yeah, really happy with that. Just these little centerpieces, these little areas for the minions to chill out. You know, you don't really think about doing it because you want to put specific buildings down, but if you actually leave space for these sort of things, it can really make a big difference to the look and feel of an area that you're building. Yeah, greenhouses, we're going to be using those a lot. The seedlings are worth 8 in the trading post, so you know that's a serious amount of cash. You know, if we had any reason to have a number of different greenhouses on maybe one of those floating islands, we could pump out decent amount of seedlings, and they'd be good for a trading post as well. So yeah, another lesson learnt. Never used these before, so probably going to be hammering those on the next build. But in general, yeah, this little village has come out really well, and the Grove Lane, that's been helping us to just keep everything stocked up with the mulberry and helping the silk keep going. You know, simple idea, but it's really sort of come through and allowed us to keep our silk stocks up. If we actually have a look how we're doing for silk, so seedlings, and yeah, we've still got 1,000 seedlings left, so that's 8,000 to spend. Silk 8,000, and pretty much every trader has got silk in their inventory, and we're using it a lot, and we've still got loads left. Silk cocoons yet to be turned into silk. You know, we could get another 4 or 5 weavers on the go with what's there and create loads. So yeah, that's been a really good money spinner. And yeah, the Great Road, well, it's sort of on its arse on this side, as we can see. I had to redo this side because got a bit of an infestation. So yeah, that's looking all very nice. And just a little add-on toilet block at the back. Again, you know, just nice little halfway point between the two cities. Simple ideas, you know, but I think they've come out really well. I do like the way the inner garden just has this curved wall. Just looks really good. And yeah, again, the only thing to note about having so many different fountains all over your map, if we go to our inventory by quantity, let's have a look. Yeah, 91,639 water, right? And we cannot do anything with this, it seems. I've put it in both the different types of traders, the ones that are on the canals, they do not like it, and I've put it on the ones, I think I've taken it out actually over here, but no, it's still there. The normal trading posts do not like it either. And you know, we do have that distillery. If we have a look for clean water, actually, let's just see what we've got there. Clean water 15, yeah, so it doesn't really do much at all, this distillery. Yeah, I'm not too sure about these fountain mob buildings. I don't know whether this is acting as some sort of inn and garden or not. I mean, it seems to have a lot of stuff in its inventory. Yeah, they don't seem to make the clean water. Considering we've got loads of this water and it's all around, they don't seem to be doing much. So I'm just a bit unsure about this distillery building. Don't know what it's supposed to be doing. And again, with these inventors buildings, we changed them over, didn't we? So everything had blueprints in, but they're just only storing ink and paper in their inventory. They need iron as well to make blueprints, so they're not actually doing it. Now I don't know whether it's because you're only supposed to put 3 of these buildings down, and I managed to squeeze in 4 just by doing it quickly. But yeah, they do not like it. So consequently, they're not producing any blueprints. Logs in this one. Hemp over here. Yeah, so not really sure about what's going on there. You know, maybe at some point I'll try with just 3 and see if it makes a difference. But we've got iron up here. You know, I'm bringing it up from these market carts, so iron's about. So I'm not too sure what's going on there. I think considering the ease of just being able to buy blueprints if you want to build these buildings more for aesthetics, that's fine. But even, you know, considering it's only a 5% chance, I don't think it would be worth it as a decent production chain to try and make your own anyway. So there we go, something else learnt. What else to look at? Well, pretty much seen everything now, haven't we? We're getting close to the end of this final episode. So what else haven't we seen? Yeah, this town worked out really well. A couple of ships, 3 on the front. And I quite like this fairly narrow, fairly tall, fairly high sort of walk through, going straight through to the market. Yeah, just one little regret that I didn't move this market 1 across, because we could have done that quite easily, would have fitted, just to have that sort of straight through. But I wasn't about to knock everything down just to get that nice clean line look, because it would have looked a little better if it was just 1 over. But yeah, in general, yeah, it just sort of shows that you can have these sort of little back alleys, sort of gives that town feel. So yeah, I was really happy with the way this one worked out as well. And we have managed to keep our clean line running all the way down this sort of side. So yeah, happy with that as well. Yeah, these presses are doing all right. I've asked some of the trading posts to bring us some whale blubber and stuff, just so we can keep banging out the lamp oil, because it's worth a decent amount. And you know, if you've got the money to buy loads of whale blubber, yeah, why not? You know, lamp oil's worth, I think it's like 35 or something. So yeah, having a few presses on the go, it is always a good idea. And yeah, this sort of little section here, we've got our hardwood guys banging that out. We've got our joiners turning it into fancy furniture. We've got our bedding guys turning cotton and cloth into that, all to help us make our furnishings, which are worth a decent amount as well. So yeah, everything all in a nice tight area. So yeah, really happy with that. Where else to look? It's pretty much it now, I think. Yeah, Sandy Shore still as it is. Did all that quite nicely. Yeah, giving me some ideas for this now. I can have some sandy shore regions and see if we can find some new models to sort of look like a resort or something like that. You know, somewhere that the minions can go and chill out for a few days for the weekend. Yeah, I do love these little huts. They do lend themselves well to the sand texture and the palm trees. So yeah, again, hopefully I've given you some ideas of what you can build yourselves in your builds and such like that. So, farming area came out well. I think it was more born out of necessity, this area, wasn't it, for a desire for a higher food count, but yeah, they're producing a decent amount. But if we look at these big 30 by 30 pastures, just want to show you, yeah, more than 2,600, so very nice compared to these quarter versions, 1,200. So yeah, not the best idea to you know, to necessarily have the massive pastures. Maybe to break them up into these sort of smaller ones could be a better idea. Yeah, so with the animals, cows, sheep, we're getting loads of food from this area. So yeah, it's basically served its purpose, and I'm hoping it looks decent enough. It's not the best idea to just have field after field after field after field. It's just a bit boring, isn't it? And you actually realise, when you realise these guys have got to walk quite a way just to get from one end of these fields to the other. So yeah, to sort of break it up a little bit, it's always a good idea. What else? Yeah, we've sort of had a look down this section. We've got a lot of tunnels in. I added a little bit of extra road in a few places. Yeah, I put a white brick road running from here all the way across to the sort of pirates area, just for fast travel, as it were, for the minions, because it takes ages for them to get from one point of the map to the other. A little bit of tinkering around here, a little well in this corner, just sort of fill a gap. I also put a little inn and garden type building here, medieval tavern, just so they can get some booze from this section, and the pirates can walk down and have a drink in this inn. Probably a bit of a dodgy inn, really. I think I'd want to frequent there myself. This area's come out really well. We've had a little look at this trading post, haven't we, with all these statues. So yeah, jade statues and even wood statues. Probably not stone if you're starting a game off, because stone can be quite a rare resource when you're first starting to get your build on the go. But yeah, wood definitely, and if we've got some jade quarries in, jade statues definitely a good money spinner. This fishing dock, you can't really see when you're this close, but if I just pin this up here and pull out, you can sort of see the circumference of the ring of the fishing dock is pretty much all water, so we should be getting decent amounts. Yeah, 5 people in here. We're getting nearly 8,000 fish. Again, helped by the intensified fishing mod, which produces a little bit more in these buildings. But yeah, it's come out quite nicely. And yeah, with the pearls and that. Well, let's move on to the Pirate Cove and have a look over here. Now, I gave you a little bit of incorrect information on this Pirate Cove when I was first putting it in, because it was the first time I'd used it. So I've been having a little toy about with it and having a look. And if we bring up the menu, yeah, I was under the impression that you needed Phoenix and Guilders to buy these items, but it's the other way around. You need the booze, and then that provides you with gold Guilders and gold Phoenix. So yeah, I put it onto the polished gemstones, because I think they're worth about 250. And you need rum, scotch, spirits and wine. Well, we've got spirits being created over by the labyrinth, so that's not an issue. And again with the wine, that's the same, we're producing that. And it's just sort of scotch and rum, really, which you can buy in from the trading posts. And yeah, we sometimes get a trader that comes along and all he's got is chocolate and ale, and never really use him, but sort of now there's a reason to buy some rum and scotch. If you've got one of these in, you can get some polished gemstones and start selling them. Or, to be honest, you know, you could have one of you guys producing wine, could have one of these, changing that wine for the gold Guilders. And then we've got the Smuggler's Dock down here. Now he uses gold Guilders. There we go. Yeah, to bring in items, and he'll bring in, well, rough gemstones, scotch, coffee healing, all the sort of high-end items that may cost a little bit of money. This guy will bring in. So if we've got a constant stream of gold Guilders coming in, converting wine to gold guilders to more stuff. Hopefully over time, if you let it run, you should be sort of up on the deal. The chopper's doing its job, providing a little bit of firewood for these guys around here, and the bootlegger, he uses silver pfennigs, and we've got loads of those. And he'll buy all the bits and bobs, ale, pipe, tobacco, not so high-end stuff. So, I mean, we could have just a row of these smugglers' docks, banging out stuff, bringing it into the town. In terms of what we've got for gold guilders, we've got over 4,000. We've got a load of gold bars. The gold bars we use for making the jewel tiaras. I'll just check that. Yeah, well, for the pearls, it's just 15 pearls for those, but for the tiaras, you need gold and silver bars. So it's a good idea to have sort of 4 of these, 2 on silver bars, 2 on silver, 1 with silver bars and 1 on silver pfennigs, and the same with the gold bars and the gold guilders. So you get a bit of a spread of what you've got in your inventory. The gold bars and the silver bars are worth 8, so you could always mine this sort of stuff and just sell the gold bars directly for 8 if you wanted to. But yeah, the Pirates Cove, I think it's come out really well. A little bit of readjusting. Got the fishing dock in there. We've put a little house behind it, a little small wood house, and yeah, just sort of a row of houses. Keep it minimal. The trading post, we've put in silk, we've put in the jewel tiaras. They're worth 166. And the pearl necklaces are worth 85. Hold on. No, they're both worth 85. We've got 166 tiaras, 35 necklaces, and yeah, they're worth a decent amount. But for the amount of effort and hassle you've got to go through with the production chain, I mean, we've got the Sandy Shores area just pumping out rough gemstones. You know, we've got this whole row here banging out different gems, rubies, diamonds, and things like that. And yeah, it's a bit of a palaver, really. I don't actually know how much these different items cost, like the rubies, the turquoise. I should put them in a trading post, really, but may have run out of time to do that, considering this is our last episode. But yeah, in terms of how this little cove has come out, I'm quite happy with it. The distillery, I've asked them to make woodshine, and we've got loads of sugar, we've got loads of herbs. And if you look at everything that's in there, they've got none of that stuff in there, so I'm presuming they've probably not made any. Yeah, no. So, again, a little bit dumbfounded with this distillery. I don't really know what the purpose of it is for. But, yeah, some of the fountain mods, whether it's just because I've added different mods on and mixed them all together and it's either confused it or not, I'm not sure. If you just had the base game with the fountain mod, it may be more, you know, it might work a little bit better. So, hey ho, we've got it in there though, and the whole place is looking really nice. So yeah, definitely happy with that. Again, a little glitch on the model. I don't know whether that's my machine that's doing that or not, but a little glitch there, which is a bit annoying. But there's a little glitch on these trading posts as well, some of them. Not that one. What about this one over here? Yeah, a little one just there. I don't know whether it's because of the placement on the side of the lake or not that does that, but we were affected with that in this port over here, I think. I know one of these had a little issue. It's not there now. It was at this one further down. Let's have a look. Yeah, there. It's just a bit of clipping. But again, not a big deal really. It's not a big issue. But yeah, that's pretty much Ashfolks for you. So yeah, I had a great time building this, and I hope you've enjoyed the series as well. I'm pretty much chomping at the bit to install 1.5 New Frontier. I've got some great ideas for the next series. So I'm going to go away and basically play that for 3-4 days solid, and then hopefully I can present to you a new build, some great new ideas, and as I previously mentioned, some of which have come off the back of the production chains we've been playing about within this model. So yeah, loads of greenhouses I think for the seedlings, and yeah, loads of wood statue carvers. So yeah, some good ideas. We're going to have some fun on the next series. So yeah, hopefully you'll stick with me, and thank you very much for everyone who's watched and subscribed. And I'll see you there in a bit.